Hidden in the vast, sun-scorched deserts of Peru lies a mystery that has baffled scientists, historians, and dreamers for centuries. Etched into the earth are hundreds of massive drawings, some spanning over 600 feet, depicting animals, plants, and geometric shapes so precise that they can only be fully appreciated from the sky. These are the Nazca Lines, an ancient puzzle that continues to defy explanation. Who created them, why were they made, and how have they endured for over 2,000 years? Today, we're diving into 50 unbelievable myths surrounding these enigmatic geoglyphs, each one more fascinating than the last. From theories of alien interference to sacred rituals and lost technologies, the Nazca Lines are a testament to human curiosity and the enduring power of mystery. So, if you're ready to explore one of history's greatest enigmas, let's unravel the secrets of the Nazca Lines together. And who knows, by the end of this journey, you might just find yourself questioning everything you thought you knew about ancient civilizations. Now, let's turn our attention to one of the most captivating myths surrounding the Nazca Lines, the idea that they were created as landing strips for extraterrestrial visitors. This theory, which has captured the imagination of many, suggests that the massive, perfectly straight lines and geometric shapes were designed to guide alien spacecraft landing on Earth. The origins of this myth can be traced back to the mid-20th century, when authors and researchers began speculating about the possibility of ancient alien contact. Among the most prominent proponents of this idea was Erich von Däniken, whose book, Chariots of the Gods, popularized the notion that advanced extraterrestrial civilizations had visited Earth in ancient times and influenced human history. According to von Däniken, the Nazca Lines were clear evidence of such visits, serving as markers or runways for alien ships. However, this theory has faced significant criticism from the scientific community. Archaeologists and historians point out that the Nazca culture, which thrived between 500 BC and 500 AD, had the technological and artistic capability to create these geoglyphs without extraterrestrial intervention. Additionally, the lines are relatively shallow, often only a few inches deep, making it unlikely they could support the weight of spacecraft. While the alien landing strip theory remains a fascinating idea, the evidence suggests that the Nazca Lines were more likely a product of human ingenuity and cultural significance rather than extraterrestrial engineering. Shifting our focus, another intriguing myth suggests that the Nazca Lines were crafted under the guidance of advanced alien civilizations. This theory, often linked to the ancient astronaut concept, proposes that extraterrestrial beings influenced or directly assisted the Nazca people in creating these massive geoglyphs. At the heart of this idea is Erich von Däniken, a Swiss author whose groundbreaking work in the 1960s brought the ancient astronaut theory into the mainstream. In his book, Chariots of the Gods, von Däniken argued that many ancient wonders, including the Nazca Lines, were too sophisticated to be the work of early human civilizations alone. He theorized that these structures were either built with alien technology or served as messages to or from extraterrestrial visitors. Von Däniken's claims sparked widespread fascination but also intense debate. Critics argue that his theories often overlook the ingenuity and capabilities of ancient cultures, relying instead on speculative interpretations of archaeological findings. For the Nazca Lines, scholars emphasize that the Nazca culture had a deep understanding of their environment and the artistic skills necessary to create these geoglyphs without extraterrestrial intervention. While the ancient astronaut theory continues to captivate the imagination, it remains a controversial and unproven explanation for the origins of these enigmatic designs. Moving forward, another fascinating theory suggests that the Nazca Lines might have served as a colossal celestial calendar. This idea proposes that the geoglyphs were intricately designed to align with significant astronomical events, such as solstices, equinoxes, or the positions of key stars and planets. Researchers have pointed out that some of the lines and shapes seem to correspond with the rising and setting of the sun during specific times of the year, hinting at a possible connection to ancient timekeeping practices. Proponents of this myth argue that the Nazca people, known for their advanced understanding of their environment, could have used the lines to track seasons, plan agricultural activities, or even mark important religious ceremonies tied to celestial cycles. However, this theory is not without its skeptics. Critics question the precision of these alignments, suggesting that some correlations might be coincidental rather than intentional. They also highlight the lack of direct evidence linking the geoglyphs to specific astronomical observations. Despite the ongoing debate, the celestial calendar theory continues to intrigue researchers and enthusiasts alike, offering a compelling perspective on the potential purpose behind these mysterious designs. It's a reminder of how much we still have to uncover about the ingenuity and complexity of ancient civilizations. Now, turning our attention to another intriguing idea, let's explore the theory that the Nazca Lines served as sacred pathways. This belief suggests that the geoglyphs were not just static designs but functional routes used for religious pilgrimages or ceremonial rituals. According to this myth, the lines might have guided people through spiritual journeys, leading them to sacred sites or places of worship. Some researchers propose that the Nazca people walked along these pathways as part of rituals to honor their gods, seek blessings, or mark significant life events. This theory gains some support from the fact that many of the lines converge at specific points, which could have held religious or ceremonial importance. Additionally, the sheer scale of the geoglyphs implies a level of effort and dedication that aligns with the cultural significance of religious practices. However, archaeological evidence directly linking the lines to specific rituals or pilgrimages remains scarce. Skeptics argue that the pathways could have had practical uses, such as marking territorial boundaries or guiding travelers through the desert, rather than serving a purely spiritual purpose. Despite the lack of definitive proof, the idea of the Nazca Lines as sacred pathways continues to captivate those who see them as a testament to the spiritual depth and cultural richness of the Nazca civilization. This theory invites us to consider the lines not just as art, but as a reflection of the beliefs and practices that once shaped the lives of the people who created them. Now, shifting our focus to a theory deeply rooted in survival, let's examine the idea that the Nazca Lines were used as symbols for water divination. This theory suggests that the geoglyphs were not just artistic or spiritual creations but practical tools to help the Nazca people locate vital underground water sources. Given the region's extremely arid climate, water was undoubtedly one of the most precious resources for this ancient civilization. Proponents of this theory point out that many of the lines and shapes may align with underground aquifers or natural water channels. Some researchers believe that the Nazca people used the lines as a sort of map to mark the locations of these hidden water supplies, ensuring their survival in the harsh desert environment. The presence of trapezoidal shapes and spirals, which some interpret as symbols of water flow or collection, adds weight to this interpretation. Additionally, certain geoglyphs appear to point toward mountains or other geographical features where water might naturally collect or flow underground. While this theory offers a compelling explanation for the practical purpose of the lines, skeptics argue that there's no direct evidence linking the geoglyphs to water sources or divination practices. Nevertheless, the idea highlights the ingenuity of the Nazca people, who may have combined artistry with practical necessity to thrive in one of the driest places on Earth. This theory invites us to see the Nazca Lines not just as mysterious symbols, but as a testament to human adaptability and resourcefulness in the face of environmental challenges. Turning our attention to the skies, another fascinating theory suggests that the Nazca Lines might serve as a massive zodiac map, depicting constellations or celestial patterns. Proponents of this idea point to the intricate designs of the geoglyphs, some of which bear striking resemblances to star formations or zodiac symbols. For instance, the famous spider and monkey figures have been compared to specific constellations, while the spiral patterns and interconnected lines are seen as representations of cosmic connections. This theory proposes that the Nazca people used the desert floor as a canvas to map out the stars, aligning their creations with significant astronomical events. The idea gains traction when considering the importance of astronomy in many ancient cultures, where celestial bodies often held religious, agricultural, or navigational significance. However, skeptics argue that while some shapes may resemble constellations, there's no definitive evidence of intentional alignment or mapping. The sheer scale and complexity of the lines make it difficult to confirm this theory with certainty. Still, the possibility that the Nazca Lines could be a celestial guide invites us to consider how ancient civilizations might have viewed their place in the cosmos. Whether or not this theory holds true, it adds another layer of wonder to the already enigmatic geoglyphs, reminding us of the timeless human fascination with the stars and the mysteries they hold. Shifting our perspective from the stars to the Earth, let's explore another intriguing theory. The Nazca Lines might have served as a sophisticated communication system used by ancient civilizations. This idea suggests that the massive geoglyphs were not just decorative or ritualistic, but played a practical role in long-distance signaling or messaging. Imagine the Nazca people using these sprawling designs to convey information across vast distances, perhaps as a way to coordinate activities, share warnings, or even transmit cultural or spiritual messages. The straight lines and geometric patterns, some stretching for miles, could have acted as visual markers or pathways guiding travelers or serving as maps. Some researchers propose that the lines were aligned with specific landmarks or water sources, making them functional tools for navigation in the harsh desert environment. Others speculate that the geoglyphs might have been used in conjunction with smoke signals, mirrors, or even sound to amplify their communicative purpose. While this theory offers a fascinating perspective, it also raises questions. How would such a system work in practice, and what evidence supports the idea that the Nazca Lines were used for communication? Skeptics argue that there's no conclusive proof of this function, and the line's true purpose remains speculative. Yet, the notion that these ancient designs could have been part of a complex communication network adds yet another dimension to their mystery. Whether they were used to send messages across the desert or simply to mark sacred spaces, the Nazca Lines continue to spark our imagination, inviting us to uncover the ingenuity of the people who created them. Moving from the idea of communication to a more spiritual realm, let's delve into a captivating theory. The Nazca Lines might have served as grand stages for ritualistic dances or ceremonies. Picture the vast desert transformed into a sacred space where the Nazca people gathered to honor their gods, celebrate the cycles of nature, or mark significant life events through movement and music. Dance, in many ancient cultures, was not just an art form but a profound expression of spirituality, community, and connection to the divine. In this context, the Nazca Lines could have functioned as immense dance floors, with the geometric patterns and animal figures guiding the movements of the participants. Imagine dancers following the contours of a giant hummingbird or spiraling along the intricate lines, their steps echoing the rhythms of the earth and sky. Some researchers suggest that these rituals might have been tied to agricultural practices, with dances performed to invoke rain or ensure a bountiful harvest. Others propose that the ceremonies were linked to celestial events, aligning the dances with the movements of the sun, moon, or stars. The Nazca culture, like many ancient societies, likely viewed dance as a way to bridge the human and the divine, transforming the physical act of movement into a spiritual experience. While there's no definitive evidence to prove that the Nazca Lines were used for dancing, the notion adds a vibrant layer to their interpretation. It invites us to envision these enigmatic designs not just as static images but as dynamic spaces where the Nazca people celebrated, prayed, and connected with the forces that shaped their world. Whether they were pathways for the feet or messages for the soul, the Nazca Lines continue to inspire awe, reminding us of the enduring power of human creativity and devotion. Now, shifting our lens to a more artistic perspective, let's explore the intriguing idea that the Nazca Lines were intended as a colossal art gallery, a testament to the creativity and craftsmanship of the Nazca people. Imagine these vast desert canvases not just as spiritual or functional designs, but as a grand exhibition of human ingenuity, stretching across the landscape for all to see. The sheer scale and precision of the lines and figures suggest a deep investment in artistic expression, with each geoglyph serving as a unique masterpiece. From the iconic hummingbird and spider to the intricate geometric patterns, these designs reflect a culture that valued art as a means of communication, identity, and legacy. The Nazca people may have created these works to celebrate their connection to nature, honor their deities, or simply to leave a lasting mark on the earth. In this context, the desert becomes an open-air gallery where the lines are not just drawings but stories, symbols, and expressions of a society's worldview. Some researchers argue that the Nazca Lines were a form of public art, accessible to all, while others suggest they were reserved for specific groups or occasions, adding layers of cultural complexity. The idea of the Nazca Lines as an art gallery also raises questions about the role of art in ancient societies. Was it purely decorative, or did it carry deeper meanings tied to survival, spirituality, or social cohesion? The creativity behind these designs is undeniable, showcasing the Nazca people's ability to transform the barren desert into a vibrant tapestry of human imagination. While we may never know their exact intentions, the artistry of the Nazca Lines continues to captivate, offering a glimpse into the minds and hearts of those who created them. Whether as a gallery, a message, or a monument, these geoglyphs remind us of the timeless power of art to inspire, connect, and endure. Turning our attention to another fascinating theory, let's delve into the idea that the Nazca Lines were a blueprint for alien technology or architecture. This myth hinges on the extraordinary geometric precision of the lines and figures, which some believe could only have been achieved with advanced knowledge or technology beyond human capability at the time. Proponents of this theory argue that the straight lines, perfect curves, and intricate patterns are not just artistic expressions but detailed plans or schematics left by extraterrestrial visitors. The exactness of the designs, which can only be fully appreciated from the air, has fueled speculation that they were intended as a guide for alien construction or navigation systems. Some even suggest that the Nazca Lines could represent a form of advanced engineering, perhaps mapping out energy fields, landing zones, or even entire structures. This theory often points to the complexity of certain geoglyphs, such as the spirals or trapezoids, as evidence of a higher intelligence at work. However, skeptics counter that the Nazca people were skilled engineers and artists in their own right, capable of creating such precise designs using simple tools and techniques. They emphasize that the line's geometric perfection can be explained by human ingenuity, such as the use of ropes, stakes, and careful measurements. While the idea of the Nazca Lines as an alien blueprint is undeniably captivating, it also raises questions about humanity's tendency to attribute extraordinary achievements to otherworldly intervention. Whether seen as a product of human artistry or extraterrestrial guidance, the Nazca Lines continue to challenge our understanding of ancient civilizations and their capabilities. This theory invites us to ponder the boundaries of human potential and the mysteries that still lie hidden within these ancient desert canvases. Shifting our focus to another intriguing theory, let's explore the idea that the Nazca Lines were part of an ancient energy grid designed to harness natural or even supernatural forces. This myth suggests that the geoglyphs were not merely artistic or ceremonial, but served as a sophisticated system to channel and amplify energy. Proponents of this theory argue that the precise alignment and placement of the lines correspond to specific energy points or ley lines, creating a network that could tap into the Earth's natural energies. Some even claim that the Nazca Lines were used to generate power, heal the land, or communicate with otherworldly forces. The geometric shapes and patterns, particularly the spirals and trapezoids, are often cited as evidence of this energy grid's design, with their symmetry believed to enhance the flow of energy. This theory often draws parallels to other ancient sites around the world, such as Stonehenge or the Great Pyramid, which are also thought to be connected to energy systems. However, skeptics point out that there is no scientific evidence to support the existence of such an energy grid or its connection to the Nazca Lines. Archaeologists and researchers emphasize that the lines were likely created for cultural, religious, or practical purposes, such as marking territory or guiding rituals. While the idea of the Nazca Lines as an ancient energy grid is fascinating, it remains firmly in the realm of pseudoscience, blending speculation with a desire to uncover hidden meanings. Whether viewed as a mystical energy network or a testament to human ingenuity, this theory invites us to consider the many ways ancient civilizations sought to understand and interact with the world around them. The enduring allure of the Nazca Lines lies in their ability to spark imagination and challenge our perceptions of the past. Turning our attention to another captivating myth, let's consider the idea that the Nazca Lines serve as giant animal totems, deeply revered by the ancient Nazca people. This theory suggests that the massive geoglyphs of animals such as the hummingbird, spider, monkey, and condor were more than just artistic expressions. They were sacred symbols representing the spiritual and cultural beliefs of the Nazca civilization. Animals played a central role in their worldview, often seen as intermediaries between the earthly and spiritual realms. These towering animal figures etched into the desert floor may have been used in rituals, ceremonies, or as offerings to the gods, symbolizing fertility, protection, and the cycles of nature. For instance, the hummingbird, with its association with resurrection and vitality, or the spider, often linked to rain and agriculture, could have held specific spiritual meanings. Some researchers argue that these animal totems were part of a larger system of belief, reflecting the Nazca people's deep connection to their environment and the natural world. The sheer scale of these geoglyphs suggests they were meant to be seen from above, possibly by the gods themselves, further emphasizing their sacred purpose. However, while the symbolic significance of these animals is well documented in Nazca artifacts like pottery and textiles, the exact purpose of the animal-shaped lines remains a subject of debate. Were they markers of sacred spaces, expressions of devotion, or perhaps even warnings to outsiders? The mystery continues to intrigue, inviting us to explore the rich tapestry of Nazca culture and its enduring legacy. As we ponder these animal totems, we're reminded of the profound ways ancient civilizations sought to honor and understand the world around them, leaving behind a testament to their creativity and spirituality. Shifting our focus to another fascinating theory, let's explore the idea that the Nazca Lines served as runways for ancient flying machines. This myth suggests that the long, straight lines etched into the desert floor were not artistic or religious symbols but landing strips for advanced aircraft, possibly used by an ancient civilization or even extraterrestrial visitors. Proponents of this theory argue that the precise linear designs and flat, open terrain of the Nazca Desert make it an ideal location for such runways. Some claim that these hypothetical flying machines would have required long, straight paths for takeoff and landing, much like modern-day aircraft. The theory gained traction in the mid-20th century, particularly through the works of authors like Erich von Däniken, who speculated about ancient alien technology. However, many experts challenge this idea, pointing out that the Nazca Lines lack the structural features necessary for functioning runways. such as hardened surfaces or infrastructure for navigation. Additionally, there is no archaeological evidence to support the existence of ancient flying machines or the technology required to build them. Skeptics argue that the line's simplicity and the absence of any tool marks or machinery suggest they were created using basic, manual methods known to the Nazca people. While the notion of ancient runways captures the imagination, it remains a speculative theory without concrete proof. Still, it raises intriguing questions about how we interpret these enigmatic designs and the possibilities they might represent. As we consider this idea, we're reminded of the enduring allure of the Nazca Lines and their ability to inspire both awe and endless curiosity. Moving into another layer of mystery surrounding the Nazca Lines, let's delve into the belief that these geoglyphs were sacred offerings to the gods. This theory suggests that the Nazca people created these massive designs as a form of devotion, intended to appease or honor deities who controlled fertility, water, and prosperity. Given the arid climate of the Nazca Desert, water was undoubtedly a precious resource, and the survival of their civilization depended on successful harvests and reliable rainfall. The Nazca people's religious practices often revolved around rituals aimed at ensuring these vital elements, and the creation of the lines may have been part of these ceremonies. Some researchers propose that the act of walking along these pathways or conducting processions was a form of ritualistic worship, a way to communicate with the gods and invoke their blessings. The animal and plant motifs seen in many of the geoglyphs might symbolize connections to nature and the divine, with certain shapes representing deities or spiritual concepts. For example, the famous hummingbird figure could be linked to themes of renewal and vitality, while the spider might symbolize rain or water. Archaeological evidence, including pottery and artifacts from the Nazca culture, supports the idea that they practiced elaborate rituals involving offerings and sacrifices. However, while this theory offers a compelling explanation tied to the spiritual life of the Nazca people, it remains difficult to prove definitively. The lack of written records from the Nazca civilization leaves much open to interpretation. Still, this myth highlights the deep connection between the lines and the spiritual world of their creators, offering a glimpse into the values and fears that shaped their society. As we consider this perspective, we're reminded of the profound ways in which ancient cultures sought to understand and influence the forces that governed their lives. Now, let's shift our focus to a theory that takes the Nazca Lines to a global scale, the idea that these geoglyphs might represent a giant map of the world or a specific region. This fascinating myth suggests that the Nazca people, or perhaps an even earlier civilization, created these massive designs to depict the Earth's geography in a way that would be visible from above. Proponents of this theory point to certain shapes and patterns in the lines that seem to resemble rivers, mountains, coastlines, and other natural landmarks. For example, some of the long, straight lines are thought to mirror the paths of ancient trade routes or rivers, while the more intricate designs might represent significant geographical features like mountain ranges or islands. The idea gains further traction when considering the precision with which these lines were created, as if the creators had a deep understanding of spatial relationships and topography. However, skeptics argue that the resemblance to geographical features could be coincidental, as the Nazca Desert itself is a vast, open canvas that naturally lends itself to abstract interpretations. Additionally, without written records or definitive evidence connecting the lines to specific locations, this theory remains speculative. Still, it's an intriguing thought. Could the Nazca Lines be an ancient attempt to map the world or a sacred landscape? Even if this myth isn't fully substantiated, it invites us to consider the possibility that these geoglyphs held a broader purpose, perhaps serving as a visual representation of the world as the Nazca people understood it. As we explore this idea, we're reminded of the creativity and ingenuity of ancient cultures, who may have sought to capture the essence of their environment in ways that continue to puzzle and inspire us today. Moving from global maps to local activities, another intriguing theory suggests that the Nazca Lines might have served as an ancient sports arena. This idea proposes that the vast, open spaces of the desert were used for competitions, games, or physical activities by the Nazca people. Sports and games held significant cultural importance in many ancient societies, often tied to religious rituals, social cohesion, or displays of skill and strength. In the case of the Nazca, these geoglyphs could have acted as boundary markers, pathways, or even symbolic tracks for participants to follow during events. Some researchers point to the long, straight lines as potential racecourses or arenas where ancient athletes might have competed. Others speculate that the intricate designs, like the famous monkey or spider, could have represented team symbols or spiritual guardians associated with these activities. The cultural significance of sports in ancient societies often extended beyond mere entertainment. They were a way to honor the gods, settle disputes, or prepare warriors for battle. For the Nazca, whose society thrived in an arid and challenging environment, such events might have been a way to foster unity, demonstrate resilience, or celebrate their connection to the natural world. While there's no direct archaeological evidence linking the Nazca Lines to sports or games, this theory offers a fascinating glimpse into how these geoglyphs might have been part of a larger cultural tapestry. It reminds us that the Nazca Lines could have served multiple purposes, blending art, spirituality, and community in ways that continue to captivate our imagination today. As we consider this possibility, we're reminded of the universal human desire to connect, compete, and celebrate through shared activities, a tradition as ancient as the lines themselves. Shifting our focus from earthly traditions to cosmic connections, another captivating theory links the Nazca Lines to modern-day crop circles, suggesting extraterrestrial involvement in both phenomena. This idea draws parallels between the intricate designs etched into Peru's desert and the elaborate patterns that mysteriously appear in fields around the world. Proponents argue that both types of markings share a level of precision and complexity that might be difficult to achieve without advanced technology, pointing to alien craftsmanship as a possible explanation. The similarities are striking. Both the Nazca Lines and crop circles feature geometric shapes, spirals, and intricate patterns that are best appreciated from an aerial perspective. Some even suggest that these designs could be attempts by extraterrestrial beings to communicate with humanity, whether as messages, warnings, or artistic expressions. However, differences also exist. While the Nazca Lines are permanent features carved into the earth over centuries, crop circles are temporary, often appearing overnight and disappearing after harvest. Additionally, many crop circles have been debunked as human-made hoaxes, created using simple tools and techniques. In contrast, the Nazca Lines' enduring nature and cultural context make them a distinctly human archaeological marvel. This theory invites us to explore the possibility of alien influence while also acknowledging the ingenuity of ancient and modern humans. Whether you believe these designs are the work of extraterrestrials or human creativity, one thing is certain: they continue to spark wonder and debate, blurring the lines between myth, mystery, and imagination. Turning our attention to a more holistic perspective, another intriguing myth suggests that the Nazca Lines served as ancient healing sites or spaces for spiritual rejuvenation. This theory proposes that the geoglyphs were not just artistic or astronomical in purpose, but also played a role in the physical and spiritual well-being of the Nazca people. Supporters of this idea point to the possibility that these massive designs were created to harness natural energies believed to promote healing and balance. The idea draws parallels to other ancient cultures that used sacred sites for medicinal practices, such as the thermal baths of the Romans or the stone circles of the Celts. Proponents argue that the Nazca Lines could have been aligned with specific energy points in the Earth, creating a network of power spots where rituals, ceremonies, or healing practices took place. Some even suggest that the shapes and patterns of the geoglyphs were designed to stimulate the senses or induce altered states of consciousness, aiding in physical and spiritual recovery. Additionally, the isolation and vastness of the desert itself might have been seen as a place of purification, where individuals could retreat for renewal and reflection. While there is no direct archaeological evidence to confirm this theory, it highlights the deep connection between the Nazca people and their environment, suggesting a sophisticated understanding of the interplay between the physical and spiritual worlds. Whether or not the Nazca Lines were used as healing sites, this myth invites us to consider the broader cultural and spiritual significance of these enigmatic designs, offering a glimpse into the ancient beliefs that shaped their creation. Shifting our focus to another captivating theory, let's explore the idea that the Nazca Lines might represent giant religious symbols or icons. This myth suggests that the intricate designs etched into the Peruvian desert were not just artistic expressions but deeply spiritual creations, meant to convey sacred messages or honor deities. Some researchers propose that the shapes and patterns, such as the famous spider, hummingbird, or monkey, could symbolize important figures or concepts within the Nazca belief system. These animal forms might have been chosen for their symbolic meanings, possibly representing fertility, protection, or guidance from the gods. The sheer size and scale of these geoglyphs reinforce the idea that they were intended to be seen from above, perhaps as offerings or prayers to celestial beings. Additionally, the act of creating such massive designs in a harsh desert environment could have been a form of devotion, a way for the Nazca people to demonstrate their faith and commitment. The repetitive and precise nature of the lines might also suggest ritualistic practices, where the process of creation itself held spiritual significance. While the exact meanings of these symbols remain elusive, this theory invites us to consider the Nazca Lines as more than just art. They may have been a profound expression of a culture's relationship with the divine. Whether viewed as a form of worship, a way to communicate with the gods, or a means to ensure the favor of higher powers, the notion of the Nazca Lines as giant religious symbols adds another layer of depth to their enduring mystery. Turning to another intriguing perspective, the myth of the Nazca Lines as an ancient time capsule suggests that these geoglyphs were crafted to preserve vital knowledge for future generations. This theory proposes that the Nazca people, aware of the impermanence of their culture or perhaps foreseeing future civilizations, sought to leave behind a lasting legacy embedded in the desert floor. The intricate designs and patterns, ranging from geometric shapes to animal figures, could have been encoded with messages or teachings about their way of life, beliefs, or even technological insights. Supporters of this idea argue that the sheer scale and precision of the lines indicate a deliberate effort to create something enduring, visible only from great heights, perhaps intended for a time when humans could view them from above. Some speculate that the Nazca Lines might have served as a visual record of astronomical knowledge, agricultural practices, or spiritual traditions, carefully preserved for those who would come after. The desert environment, with its dry climate and minimal erosion, could have been chosen as the ideal canvas to ensure the longevity of these messages. While the exact content of this supposed time capsule remains a mystery, the concept invites us to imagine the Nazca people as forward-thinking, eager to communicate across centuries. Whether this myth holds any truth or not, it adds a fascinating dimension to the purpose of these enigmatic lines, suggesting that they might be more than just art. They could be a bridge between ancient wisdom and the modern world. Shifting our focus to another captivating theory, the idea that the Nazca Lines served as an alien navigation system has intrigued both skeptics and believers for decades. Proponents of this myth suggest that the precise alignment and vast scale of the geoglyphs indicate they were designed as markers or guides for extraterrestrial spacecraft. According to this theory, the Nazca people, possibly under the influence of advanced alien visitors, created these lines to assist in navigation, much like a cosmic runway or a terrestrial map for beings from other worlds. The geometric patterns and straight lines, visible only from high above, could have provided directional cues or coordinates for landing or communication. Some even propose that the lines align with celestial bodies or specific points in the sky, serving as a kind of interstellar GPS. While this theory remains speculative, it raises fascinating questions about the motivations behind the creation of the Nazca Lines. Could they have been intended as a form of interplanetary communication or a beacon for extraterrestrial travelers? The unique characteristics of the lines, combined with their seemingly purposeful design, continue to fuel this extraordinary idea. Whether or not it holds any validity, the notion of the Nazca Lines as an alien navigation system adds yet another layer of mystery to these ancient wonders, inviting us to consider the possibility of connections between Earth and the cosmos. Turning our attention to another intriguing possibility, some researchers believe the Nazca Lines may have served as sacred markers for ancient burial grounds or tombs. This theory suggests that the geoglyphs were connected to the Nazca people's funerary practices, possibly acting as pathways to the afterlife or as memorials for the deceased. Archaeological discoveries in the region have uncovered burial sites containing mummified remains, intricate textiles, and pottery, indicating that the Nazca culture placed significant importance on death and the spiritual journey beyond. The proximity of some lines to these burial sites has fueled speculation that the geoglyphs were part of a larger ritualistic landscape, perhaps guiding the spirits of the dead or honoring their memory. Additionally, the shapes and patterns of the lines, particularly those depicting animals or spiritual symbols, might have held specific meanings related to life, death, and rebirth. While there is no definitive proof that the Nazca Lines were directly linked to burials, the cultural context of the Nazca people suggests that such a connection is plausible. Their elaborate funerary practices and the symbolic nature of the geoglyphs invite us to consider how these ancient creations might have intertwined with their beliefs about mortality and the afterlife. Whether as markers of sacred space or tributes to the departed, this theory adds a deeply human dimension to the enduring mystery of the Nazca Lines. Now, let's venture into the realm of sound and music with a fascinating theory. What if the Nazca Lines were not just visual wonders but also giant musical instruments? This idea suggests that these ancient geoglyphs could have served as massive sound amplifiers or resonators, designed to interact with the unique acoustic properties of the desert landscape. The Nazca Desert, with its vast, flat terrain and dry climate, creates an environment where sound can travel unusually long distances. Some researchers propose that the lines and shapes etched into the earth might have been intended to manipulate or amplify sound waves, perhaps for ceremonial or ritualistic purposes. Imagine standing in the center of one of these massive patterns and hearing the echoes of chants, drum beats, or other sounds reverberating across the desert. The geometric precision of the lines could have played a role in directing or enhancing these acoustic effects, creating an immersive auditory experience. While there is no concrete evidence to confirm this theory, the idea invites us to consider the Nazca Lines as not just silent art, but as part of a multisensory cultural expression. Whether as tools for music, communication, or spiritual connection, this perspective adds a new layer of intrigue to the mystery of these ancient creations. Could the Nazca people have been not only master artists and engineers, but also pioneers of sound design? The possibility opens up a world of questions waiting to be explored. Now, let's shift our focus to a theory that blends ancient ingenuity with the forces of nature. Could the Nazca Lines have been used to control or predict weather patterns? This intriguing myth suggests that the geoglyphs were more than just artistic or spiritual expressions. They might have served as tools for understanding or even influencing the environment. The Nazca region, known for its extreme aridity, would have made water and weather critical concerns for the ancient people living there. Some theorists propose that the lines and shapes could have been designed to align with natural phenomena such as wind patterns, the movement of clouds, or even underground water sources. For example, certain geoglyphs might have acted as markers for seasonal changes, helping the Nazca people predict rainfall or droughts. Others speculate that the large-scale patterns could have influenced air currents or created thermal effects, potentially altering local weather conditions. While there's no definitive evidence to support this idea, it's fascinating to consider how the Nazca Lines might have been integrated into their daily struggle for survival in such a harsh landscape. Could these ancient designs have been an early form of environmental engineering, aimed at taming the unpredictable forces of nature? This theory invites us to see the Nazca Lines not just as art or ritual, but as a testament to human resilience and creativity in the face of immense challenges. It's a perspective that deepens the mystery and underscores the complexity of these ancient wonders. Stepping into the realm of extraterrestrial creativity, let's explore the theory that the Nazca Lines were not crafted by human hands at all, but by aliens as a form of artwork or expression. This captivating idea suggests that these massive geoglyphs were not just meant for earthly eyes, but might have been a cosmic artist's way of leaving their mark on our planet. Proponents of this theory point to the sheer scale and precision of the lines, which could hint at technology or methods beyond the capabilities of ancient civilizations. Some even argue that the abstract shapes and intricate patterns resemble the kind of art an advanced alien species might produce, perhaps as a way to communicate or express their presence. From this perspective, the Nazca Lines could be seen as a kind of interstellar graffiti, a bold statement left by beings from another world. But what would this mean for our understanding of art and culture? If the lines were indeed alien-made, they challenge our conventional ideas about creativity, pushing us to consider art as a universal language that transcends species and planets. While mainstream archaeology attributes the lines to the Nazca people, this theory invites us to imagine a scenario where Earth became a canvas for extraterrestrial expression. It's a thought-provoking idea that blurs the lines between human and alien creativity, leaving us to wonder, could the Nazca Lines be the ultimate cosmic masterpiece? Stepping into the celestial realm, let's delve into the intriguing theory that the Nazca Lines might serve as ancient star maps. This fascinating myth suggests that the geoglyphs were not just random designs but carefully crafted representations of constellations or celestial patterns. Proponents of this idea point to the precise alignment of certain lines with key astronomical events, such as solstices or equinoxes, as evidence of their celestial purpose. For instance, some researchers argue that the famous animal shapes, like the spider or the monkey, could symbolize specific stars or constellations significant to the Nazca people. The geometric lines stretching across the desert might have acted as markers to track the movements of the sun, moon, and stars, serving as a massive observatory to guide agricultural or ceremonial activities. While this theory captures the imagination, it also raises questions about the cultural and scientific knowledge of the Nazca civilization. Could they have possessed such advanced astronomical understanding? Or is this simply a case of modern interpretation projecting our fascination with the cosmos onto these ancient designs? Exploring this myth invites us to consider the possibility that the Nazca Lines were not just earthbound creations but a bridge to the heavens, a way for an ancient people to connect with the vast mysteries of the universe. Whether as star maps or something else entirely, these geoglyphs continue to spark wonder and curiosity, reminding us of humanity's enduring fascination with the skies above. Moving from the celestial to the ceremonial, let's explore the captivating idea that the Nazca Lines were the stage for massive religious processions. This theory suggests that these geoglyphs were not just visual marvels but functional spaces for grand rituals, where the Nazca people came together to honor their gods or mark significant spiritual events. Imagine the vast desert transformed into a sacred arena, with hundreds or even thousands of participants walking along the lines, chanting, singing, or performing acts of devotion. The sheer scale of the design, some stretching for miles, seems to support this notion, as they could have accommodated large gatherings. Scholars propose that these processions might have been tied to agricultural cycles, seeking blessings for fertile crops, or to celestial events, aligning rituals with the movements of the sun or stars. The animal and geometric shapes could have served as focal points for worship, each symbolizing a different deity or spiritual concept central to Nazca beliefs. For example, the spider might have represented rain or fertility, while the condor could have symbolized the connection between earth and sky. The act of walking these lines might have been seen as a form of spiritual pilgrimage, a way to commune with the divine or embody the sacred paths laid out by their ancestors. While archaeological evidence for this theory remains limited, it offers a compelling glimpse into the possible ceremonial life of the Nazca people, highlighting their ingenuity in merging art, spirituality, and communal practice. Whether as pathways for processions or something else entirely, the Nazca Lines continue to invite us to ponder their profound cultural and spiritual significance, bridging the gap between the earthly and the sacred. Now, let's shift our focus to a theory that blends mystery with the extraterrestrial, the idea that the Nazca Lines contain hidden messages or codes from alien beings. This myth suggests that these massive geoglyphs were not just artistic or religious expressions, but a form of interstellar communication. Proponents of this theory argue that the intricate designs and precise geometric patterns could be a language or code intended for advanced civilizations beyond our planet. Some even claim that the lines correspond to mathematical equations, star maps, or symbols that only extraterrestrial intelligence could decipher. Over the years, various researchers and enthusiasts have attempted to decode these so-called messages, using everything from ancient languages to modern computer algorithms. One approach has been to analyze the alignment of the lines with celestial bodies, proposing that they could be pointing to distant star systems or signaling coordinates for contact. Others have suggested that the animal shapes represent alien species, or that the geometric patterns mimic advanced technology beyond human understanding. While no definitive evidence has emerged to prove this theory, it continues to captivate the imagination of those who believe the Nazca Lines are more than just a human creation. The idea that these designs could be a cosmic message invites us to consider the possibility that ancient civilizations had contact with otherworldly beings, or that they were inspired by extraterrestrial visitors to create something truly extraordinary. Whether as a code waiting to be cracked or a testament to human ingenuity, the Nazca Lines remain a tantalizing enigma, bridging the gap between the ancient and the alien. Moving from the cosmic to the spiritual, let's explore the idea that the Nazca Lines represent the spirits of giant animals revered by the Nazca people. This theory suggests that the intricate designs of creatures like the hummingbird, monkey, and spider are not just artistic expressions but embodiments of powerful animal spirits central to their beliefs. In Nazca culture, animals held profound spiritual significance, often seen as intermediaries between the human world and the divine. The sheer scale of these geoglyphs, visible only from the sky, implies that they were meant to be seen by the gods or spirits themselves, serving as a form of worship or communication. The hummingbird, for instance, could symbolize life and energy, while the spider might represent creation or the weaving of fate. These animal spirits were likely believed to influence natural forces such as rain, fertility, or the success of crops, which were vital in the arid Nazca region. By creating these massive earth drawings, the Nazca people may have been seeking to honor these spirits, ensuring their favor and protection for their community. The theory also ties into the broader context of ancient Andean cosmology, where animals often played a central role in spiritual practices and mythology. Whether as totems, guardians, or symbols of natural cycles, the animal geoglyphs of Nazca offer a fascinating glimpse into the spiritual world of an ancient civilization, connecting the physical landscape to the realm of the divine. Through these lines, the Nazca people left behind a legacy that continues to inspire wonder and reflection on the deep bond between humans, nature, and the spiritual forces they revered. Turning our attention to the realm of the mystical, let's explore the intriguing idea that the Nazca Lines mark ancient energy vortexes or power spots. This theory suggests that these geoglyphs were intentionally placed on locations where natural energy flows were believed to be strongest, creating a network of sacred sites. Proponents of this myth often claim that the Nazca Desert is a hotspot for these energy vortexes, which they argue could have been used by the Nazca people for spiritual, healing, or even technological purposes. These claims are rooted in pseudoscientific ideas, drawing parallels to concepts like ley lines, which are said to connect ancient monuments and natural landmarks across the Earth. Some even suggest that the precise geometric patterns of the lines amplify or channel this energy, creating a powerful grid. While there is no scientific evidence to support these claims, the myth persists, fueled by modern interest in alternative spiritual practices and New Age beliefs. Interestingly, the idea of energy vortexes has been popularized by figures who blend ancient traditions with contemporary spirituality, often citing the Nazca Lines as one of the most striking examples of such phenomena. From a historical perspective, however, there is no archaeological evidence that the Nazca people were aware of or intended to harness such energies. Instead, the Nazca Lines are more likely to have served cultural or ritualistic purposes tied to their cosmology and environment. Yet, the enduring fascination with energy vortexes reflects humanity's timeless desire to find deeper meaning and connection in the world around us. Whether as ancient power spots or artistic marvels, the Nazca Lines continue to captivate imaginations, blurring the lines between science, spirituality, and mystery. Shifting our focus to the cosmos, let's delve into the captivating theory that the Nazca Lines were part of an alien terraforming project aimed at reshaping Earth's landscape. This idea proposes that extraterrestrial beings used the geoglyphs as a blueprint or tool to modify the planet's environment, possibly to make it more habitable for themselves or to prepare it for future colonization. Supporters of this theory point to the precision and scale of the Nazca Lines as evidence of advanced alien technology, suggesting that only a civilization far beyond our current understanding could have created such intricate designs. They argue that the geometric patterns and alignments of the lines could have served as markers or instruments for terraforming processes, such as altering the climate, redirecting water sources, or even manipulating Earth's magnetic fields. While this idea is undeniably imaginative, it raises significant questions about its feasibility. Terraforming an entire planet, especially one as diverse and complex as Earth, would require technology far beyond our current capabilities, and there is no scientific evidence to suggest that such a project was ever undertaken. Additionally, the Nazca Lines themselves do not exhibit any features that would indicate they were used for such purposes. Archaeologists and historians attribute the creation of the geoglyphs to the Nazca people, who likely used them for cultural or ritualistic reasons tied to their beliefs and environment. Despite the lack of evidence, the alien terraforming myth continues to intrigue those who are fascinated by the possibility of extraterrestrial intervention in human history. It reflects a broader human curiosity about our place in the universe and the potential for contact with other intelligent life forms. Whether viewed as artistic expressions or remnants of an alien endeavor, the Nazca Lines remain a testament to humanity's enduring fascination with the unknown. Turning our attention to the darker side of ancient mysteries, let's explore the intriguing yet unsettling myth that the Nazca Lines served as sites for ritual sacrifices or offerings. This theory suggests that the geoglyphs were not merely artistic or astronomical in nature, but played a central role in the spiritual and sacrificial practices of the Nazca people. Proponents of this idea point to the presence of human remains and artifacts found near some of the lines as potential evidence of ritualistic activities. They argue that the vast, open desert landscape with its stark isolation and otherworldly atmosphere would have provided an ideal setting for ceremonies aimed at appeasing the gods or seeking their favor. The Nazca culture, like many ancient civilizations, placed great importance on rituals connected to agriculture, fertility, and the cycles of nature. In a region where water was scarce and survival depended on the whims of the environment, it's plausible that sacrifices were made to ensure rain, bountiful harvests, or protection from natural disasters. Some researchers speculate that the lines themselves may have symbolized pathways for the spirits of the sacrifice to travel to the afterlife, or that they served as altars where offerings were presented. However, the archaeological evidence for this theory remains inconclusive. While human remains have been discovered in the Nazca region, there is no definitive proof linking them directly to the geoglyphs. Many of these remains are found in burial sites unrelated to the lines, suggesting that the Nazca people practiced a variety of funerary customs. Additionally, the lines' designs, which often depict animals, plants, and geometric shapes, do not clearly indicate a connection to sacrificial rituals. Instead, they are more likely tied to the Nazca people's spiritual beliefs and their relationship with the natural world. The myth of the Nazca Lines as ritual sacrifice sites reflects our fascination with the dramatic and often macabre aspects of ancient cultures. It invites us to consider the profound ways in which our ancestors sought to understand and influence the forces shaping their lives. Whether the lines were used for such purposes remains a topic of debate, but their enduring mystery continues to captivate those who seek to unravel the secrets of the past. Now, let's shift our focus to another fascinating theory, the idea that the Nazca Lines are monumental religious symbols etched into the desert floor. This perspective suggests that the geoglyphs were not just artistic expressions but profound spiritual icons, embodying the beliefs and cosmology of the Nazca people. The sheer scale and precision of the lines hint at a deep reverence for the divine, as if the desert itself became a canvas for sacred messages. Many of the most famous geoglyphs depict animals such as the hummingbird, monkey, and spider, which some researchers believe held spiritual significance in Nazca culture. These creatures might have been seen as intermediaries between the human world and the divine, or as symbols of specific deities or natural forces. The geometric lines and patterns, often extending for miles, could represent pathways for the spirits to travel or boundaries separating the sacred from the profane. The Nazca people, like many ancient civilizations, likely saw their environment as infused with spiritual energy, and the geoglyphs may have been a way to honor or communicate with the gods. The placement of the lines, often aligned with the horizon or celestial bodies, further supports the idea that they were part of a larger religious framework. Some scholars argue that the geoglyphs were used in rituals to mark important seasonal events, such as solstices or equinoxes, or to invoke blessings for the community. The act of creating these massive symbols may have also been a form of devotion, requiring collective effort and spiritual focus. While the exact meanings behind the Nazca Lines remain a mystery, their role as giant religious symbols offers a compelling glimpse into the spiritual world of an ancient civilization. This theory reminds us of the universal human desire to connect with something greater than ourselves, leaving a lasting legacy in the sands of time. Moving forward, we'll explore another intriguing myth that takes us even deeper into the enigmatic world of the Nazca Lines. Now, let's venture into one of the most captivating and enduring myths surrounding the Nazca Lines: the idea that these massive geoglyphs were a form of communication with extraterrestrial beings. This theory suggests that the Nazca people, or perhaps even an advanced ancient civilization, created the lines as a way to send messages to visitors from beyond our world. The sheer scale and visibility of the lines from the air have led some to speculate that they were designed to be seen from above, possibly by alien spacecraft. Proponents of this idea point to the precise geometric patterns and the alignment of certain lines with celestial bodies as evidence of an advanced understanding of astronomy, potentially shared or influenced by extraterrestrial intelligence. Some argue that the animal shapes, such as the condor or the spider, could represent symbols or codes meant to convey specific messages to these otherworldly beings. Others believe the lines functioned as a kind of landing grid or directional marker, guiding extraterrestrial visitors to specific locations on Earth. While this theory captures the imagination, it's important to note that mainstream archaeology offers alternative explanations, such as the lines' cultural and religious significance within Nazca society. Skeptics argue that the patterns could have been created using simple tools and techniques available to the Nazca people without the need for alien intervention. Despite the lack of concrete evidence, the idea of the Nazca Lines as a form of ancient alien communication continues to intrigue and inspire. It raises questions about humanity's fascination with the unknown and our desire to connect with forces beyond our understanding. This myth reminds us that the Nazca Lines are not just a mystery of the past, but also a canvas for our own imaginations and interpretations. Moving into another fascinating aspect of the Nazca Lines, let's explore the theory that these massive geoglyphs represent giant animal totems revered by the Nazca people. This idea highlights the deep spiritual and cultural connections the ancient society had with the natural world. The animal figures, such as the hummingbird, spider, and monkey, are not just artistic creations but are believed to hold profound symbolic meaning. Scholars suggest that these animal shapes could have served as totems, representing deities or spiritual entities that played a central role in Nazca cosmology. The choice of animals is thought to reflect their importance in the environment and their symbolic attributes, such as strength, fertility, or protection. For instance, the spider might be associated with rain or water, vital resources in the arid Nazca desert, while the hummingbird could symbolize energy and vitality. These totems may have been part of rituals or ceremonies designed to honor the gods or seek their favor for a bountiful harvest or favorable weather. The sheer size and visibility of these animal geoglyphs suggest they were intended to be seen by both the people and the divine, serving as a bridge between the earthly and the spiritual realms. While some argue that these figures were purely decorative or functional, the idea of giant animal totems adds a layer of cultural richness to the mystery of the Nazca Lines. It invites us to consider the ways in which ancient civilizations expressed their beliefs and connected with the forces they believed shaped their world. This theory not only deepens our understanding of the Nazca people's spiritual life, but also underscores the enduring power of symbols in human culture. Another intriguing theory suggests that the Nazca Lines might have been part of an ancient energy grid designed to harness natural or even supernatural forces. Proponents of this idea argue that the precise geometric patterns and alignments of the lines could have served as conduits for energy, either from the Earth itself or from cosmic sources. Some even claim that the lines were used to channel ley lines, hypothetical alignments of energy that are said to crisscross the planet. These theories often draw parallels to other ancient sites like Stonehenge or the Great Pyramid of Giza, which are also thought to have connections to energy manipulation. While these ideas are captivating, they fall squarely into the realm of pseudoscience, lacking any concrete evidence to support them. Critics point out that the Nazca Lines were created by removing the top layer of soil to reveal the lighter substrate beneath, a process that doesn't inherently suggest any energy-related function. Additionally, there's no archaeological evidence to indicate that the Nazca people had any understanding or knowledge of such advanced concepts. Despite the lack of scientific backing, the notion of an ancient energy grid continues to capture the imagination of many, adding to the mystique of the Nazca Lines. It serves as a reminder of how modern interpretations can sometimes project contemporary ideas onto ancient cultures, blurring the line between fact and fiction. This theory, while speculative, invites us to consider the ways in which ancient peoples might have interacted with their environment, even if their true purpose remains a mystery. Moving into the realm of extraterrestrial creativity, another captivating myth proposes that the Nazca Lines were crafted by aliens as a form of artwork or expression. This theory suggests that these massive geoglyphs were not merely functional but served as a cosmic canvas, showcasing the artistic abilities of beings from beyond our world. Proponents of this idea argue that the intricate designs and sheer scale of the lines surpass what ancient humans could have accomplished alone, pointing to the possibility of advanced alien intervention. They speculate that these extraterrestrial artists used the Peruvian desert as a gallery to leave behind messages or symbols for future civilizations, or perhaps even as a way to communicate with other life forms in the universe. The artistic implications of this theory are fascinating, as it raises questions about the nature of creativity and expression across different species. If true, the Nazca Lines would represent one of the earliest examples of interstellar art, blending human ingenuity with alien inspiration. However, critics of this theory emphasize that the Nazca people were highly skilled and resourceful, capable of creating such complex works without extraterrestrial assistance. They point to the cultural and religious significance of the geoglyphs within Nazca society, suggesting that these designs were deeply rooted in their beliefs and practices rather than alien intervention. While the idea of an alien art gallery is undeniably imaginative, it remains firmly in the realm of speculation, inviting us to consider the limits of human creativity and the mysteries of the cosmos. This myth adds another layer to the enigma of the Nazca Lines, reminding us that art, in all its forms, can transcend both time and space. Shifting our gaze to the skies, another intriguing myth suggests that the Nazca Lines were designed as ancient star maps or representations of constellations. This theory proposes that the lines and patterns etched into the desert floor served as a celestial guide, aligning with specific stars or celestial events to mark important dates or locations. Proponents of this idea often point to the precise geometry of the geoglyphs, arguing that their shapes and orientations mirror the positions of stars or planets visible to the Nazca people thousands of years ago. Some researchers have even drawn parallels between the Nazca Lines and other ancient structures, such as Stonehenge or the pyramids of Giza, which are believed to have astronomical significance. They speculate that the Nazca used these celestial maps for agricultural planning, religious ceremonies, or even navigation, believing that the stars held the key to understanding their place in the universe. However, skeptics argue that while some alignments may appear deliberate, many are likely coincidental, given the vast number of lines and figures scattered across the Nazca Desert. They emphasize that the Nazca culture's primary focus was on earthbound rituals and water management, rather than celestial observation. Despite this, the myth of the Nazca Lines as star maps continues to captivate the imagination, blending the mystery of the ancient world with the timeless allure of the cosmos. Whether a deliberate celestial map or a product of human ingenuity, the Nazca Lines remind us of humanity's enduring fascination with the stars and our quest to make sense of the universe around us. Another fascinating perspective on the Nazca Lines suggests they were the stage for massive religious processions or ceremonies. This theory imagines the desert floor as a sacred canvas where the Nazca people gathered to honor their gods through collective rituals. The sheer scale of the geoglyphs would have made them visible to large crowds, allowing participants to follow specific paths as part of their spiritual practices. Some researchers believe these processions were tied to agricultural cycles or water rituals, crucial for survival in such an arid environment. The intricate designs of animals, plants, and geometric shapes might have symbolized deities or natural forces, serving as focal points for worship. Cultural evidence points to the Nazca's deep connection with their environment, suggesting that these ceremonies were a way to seek favor from the gods for bountiful harvests or rain. While the exact nature of these rituals remains a mystery, the idea of the Nazca Lines as a site for communal spiritual expression adds another layer to their enigmatic purpose. This theory not only highlights the cultural richness of the Nazca people, but also invites us to envision the desert as a living, breathing space of devotion and celebration. Now, let's turn our attention to a theory that has captivated imaginations for decades: the idea that the Nazca Lines contain hidden messages or codes from extraterrestrial beings. This myth suggests that the mysterious geoglyphs were not just art or ritual sites, but a form of communication with advanced civilizations from beyond our world. Proponents of this theory point to the precise geometric patterns and the immense scale of the lines, arguing that such intricate designs could only have been created with extraterrestrial technology or guidance. Some have even speculated that the lines might encode complex information such as star maps, mathematical formulas, or warnings for future generations. Over the years, various attempts have been made to decode these supposed alien messages. Researchers have analyzed the shapes and alignments, looking for patterns that match known constellations, celestial events, or even ancient alien languages. However, despite these efforts, no definitive evidence has been found to support the claim that the Nazca Lines are extraterrestrial in origin. Skeptics argue that the lines are better understood as cultural and artistic expressions of the Nazca people, reflecting their worldview and environment rather than messages from outer space. Yet, the allure of this myth persists, fueled by the enduring mystery of the lines and humanity's fascination with the possibility of contact with otherworldly beings. Whether you believe in ancient alien messages or not, this theory adds yet another layer of intrigue to the enigmatic Nazca Lines. Moving forward, let's delve into the captivating myth that the Nazca Lines symbolize the spirits of giant animals revered by the ancient Nazca people. This theory suggests that the immense geoglyphs of creatures like the hummingbird, monkey, and spider were not just artistic expressions but embodied powerful animal spirits central to their spiritual beliefs. In Nazca culture, animals often held deep symbolic meaning, representing connections to nature, fertility, and the divine. By creating these massive animal figures on the desert floor, the Nazca people may have sought to honor these spirits, believing they could influence their lives and the natural world around them. Some researchers propose that these geoglyphs were used in rituals to invoke the favor of these animal spirits, ensuring bountiful harvests, successful hunts, or protection from harm. The sheer scale of the animal designs, visible only from above, hints at their importance and the effort invested in their creation. While the exact purpose of these geoglyphs remains uncertain, their prominence suggests they played a significant role in the spiritual practices of the Nazca civilization. Whether viewed as sacred symbols or artistic tributes, these giant animal figures continue to fascinate us, offering a glimpse into the rich cultural and spiritual world of an ancient people. This theory not only highlights the profound connection between the Nazca and their environment, but also adds a layer of mystique to these enduring desert masterpieces. Shifting our focus to a more mystical angle, let's explore the intriguing myth that the Nazca Lines mark ancient energy vortexes or power spots. This theory suggests that the geoglyphs were created not just as artistic or spiritual symbols, but as markers for locations believed to harness natural or supernatural energies. Proponents of this idea argue that the Nazca Lines align with ley lines, invisible energy pathways thought to crisscross the Earth, connecting sacred sites and amplifying their power. According to this belief, these vortexes could have been used by the Nazca people for healing, spiritual awakening, or even communication with higher realms. The geometric precision and vast scale of the lines are often cited as evidence of their connection to these energy phenomena. However, critics point out that these claims lack scientific evidence and are rooted in pseudoscience. The concept of energy vortexes and ley lines, while popular in New Age and alternative spirituality circles, has not been substantiated by archaeological or geological studies. Despite this, the myth persists, fueled by the enduring mystery of the Nazca Lines and the allure of ancient wisdom. Whether seen as a fascinating blend of history and mysticism or dismissed as speculative fiction, the idea of energy vortexes adds yet another layer of intrigue to these enigmatic desert designs. It invites us to ponder the boundaries between science, spirituality, and the human desire to find meaning in the unknown. Turning our attention to another extraordinary theory, let's delve into the myth that the Nazca Lines were part of an alien terraforming project designed to reshape Earth's landscape. This idea suggests that extraterrestrial beings created the geoglyphs as part of a larger plan to modify the planet's environment, possibly to make it more habitable for their species or to prepare it for future colonization. Proponents of this theory point to the sheer scale and precision of the lines, arguing that such monumental work would have required advanced technology beyond the capabilities of ancient civilizations. They propose that the Nazca Lines served as markers, guides, or even instruments in a grand extraterrestrial engineering effort. The idea ties into broader narratives about alien intervention in Earth's history, often popularized in science fiction and speculative documentaries. However, this theory faces significant skepticism from scientists and researchers. They argue that there is no concrete evidence to support the existence of extraterrestrial terraforming, and the Nazca Lines can be plausibly explained through human ingenuity and cultural practices. Moreover, the concept of terraforming, while fascinating, remains largely theoretical even in modern science, making it an unlikely explanation for the geoglyphs. Despite the lack of evidence, the notion of alien terraforming adds a layer of cosmic intrigue to the Nazca Lines, sparking the imagination and inviting us to consider humanity's place in the universe. Whether seen as a bold scientific hypothesis or a fantastical story, this myth continues to captivate those drawn to the mysteries of ancient civilizations and the possibility of otherworldly influence. Shifting our focus to a more somber yet equally fascinating theory, let's explore the myth that the Nazca Lines served as sites for ancient ritual sacrifices or offerings. This idea suggests that the geoglyphs were not merely artistic or functional creations but held profound spiritual significance, possibly used in ceremonies to appease deities, ensure fertility, or secure divine favor. Proponents of this theory often point to the Nazca people's known religious practices, which included rituals involving offerings and sacrifices to honor their gods. The vast, open desert landscape of the Nazca Lines could have provided an ideal setting for such ceremonies, offering both visibility and a connection to the natural elements. Archaeological evidence, such as the discovery of pottery, textiles, and animal remains near the lines, has led some researchers to speculate that these items were left as part of ritualistic practices. Additionally, certain geoglyphs depict animals like condors and spiders, which held symbolic meaning in Nazca culture and may have been associated with spiritual or sacrificial rituals. However, this interpretation remains debated among scholars. While there is evidence of ritualistic activity in the Nazca region, there is no direct proof linking these practices specifically to the creation or use of the geoglyphs. Some argue that the lines were more likely used for astronomical or agricultural purposes, with any religious significance being secondary. Despite the uncertainty, the idea of the Nazca Lines as sites of ritual sacrifice continues to evoke a sense of mystery and reverence, inviting us to reflect on the spiritual lives of this ancient civilization and the profound ways they sought to connect with the divine. Whether viewed as sacred spaces or simply as enigmatic works of art, these lines remind us of the complex and deeply human motivations behind their creation. Now, let's turn our attention to another captivating idea: the notion that the Nazca Lines may represent giant religious symbols or icons. This theory suggests that the geoglyphs were not just artistic expressions but profound spiritual markers, carved into the earth to communicate with the divine or embody sacred beliefs. The shapes and patterns of the lines, often depicting animals like monkeys, hummingbirds, and spiders, are thought to hold deep symbolic meaning in Nazca culture. These creatures were likely revered as spiritual entities or messengers, serving as a bridge between the earthly and the divine. The sheer scale of these geoglyphs, visible only from above, hints at their intended audience, perhaps the gods themselves. Scholars have speculated that the Nazca people created these massive symbols as acts of devotion, offerings to ensure favor, fertility, or protection from the harsh desert environment. Some patterns, such as spirals and zigzags, are also interpreted as representations of cosmic forces or sacred geometry, reflecting the Nazca's understanding of the universe's interconnectedness. While this theory offers a compelling spiritual lens through which to view the lines, it remains a subject of debate. Critics argue that the religious interpretation may overlook other practical purposes, such as astronomical or agricultural functions. Yet, the idea of the Nazca Lines as giant religious symbols continues to inspire awe, inviting us to consider the profound ways ancient civilizations sought to express their faith and make sense of the world around them. Whether as divine messages or sacred art, these geoglyphs stand as enduring testaments to the spiritual depth of the Nazca people. Shifting our focus to another intriguing theory, let's explore the notion that the Nazca Lines were designed as a means of communication with extraterrestrial beings. This idea suggests that the massive geoglyphs served as a form of messaging system, intended to attract or interact with advanced civilizations from beyond our planet. Proponents of this theory argue that the intricate designs and sheer scale of the lines, which are only fully visible from the air, were created specifically to be seen from above by visitors from outer space. The precision and complexity of the shapes, some of which resemble modern-day symbols or signals, have fueled speculation that they were meant to convey important information or establish contact. Some even suggest that the lines could have been part of a larger interstellar navigation system, guiding alien spacecraft to Earth. The purpose behind this alleged communication varies. Some believe it was a plea for assistance or knowledge, while others think it was an attempt to showcase human ingenuity or express reverence for extraterrestrial beings. Critics, however, point out the lack of concrete evidence to support this theory, emphasizing that the lines align more closely with natural and cultural explanations. Despite the skepticism, the idea of the Nazca Lines as an ancient alien communication system continues to captivate imaginations, blending science fiction with archaeological mystery. Whether seen as a bold attempt to reach the stars or simply a product of human creativity, this theory invites us to ponder the possibility of humanity's ancient fascination with life beyond our world. Taking a closer look at the patterns etched into the Peruvian desert, another fascinating theory emerges. Many believe the Nazca Lines represent giant animal totems deeply revered by the Nazca people. These massive geoglyphs depicting creatures like spiders, monkeys, and hummingbirds may have served as sacred symbols connecting the ancient civilization to the natural world. Animals held significant spiritual meaning for the Nazca, often representing deities, natural forces, or essential resources. By creating these enormous animal figures, the Nazca could have been honoring the creatures they relied on for survival or seeking their favor through ritualistic worship. The scale of these geoglyphs suggests they were meant to be seen by the gods, perhaps as offerings or expressions of gratitude. Some researchers propose that these animal totems were part of ceremonies or festivals, acting as focal points for communal gatherings or spiritual practices. The choice of animals also hints at the Nazca's connection to their environment. Spiders, for instance, might symbolize rain or fertility, while hummingbirds could represent the life-giving energy of the sun. Despite the allure of this theory, questions remain about how these totems were used and the specific beliefs they represented. Were they permanent altars, ritual pathways, or celestial markers? While the answers may be lost to time, the enduring presence of these animal figures invites us to reflect on the Nazca's profound relationship with nature and the spiritual world. Whether as symbols of worship or expressions of cultural identity, these giant animal totems continue to captivate our imagination, offering a glimpse into the beliefs and artistry of an ancient people. Shifting our focus to another intriguing theory, some believe the Nazca Lines were part of an ancient energy grid designed to harness natural or even supernatural forces. Proponents of this idea suggest that the precise alignment and geometric patterns of the geoglyphs were not random but intentional, meant to channel or amplify energy from the Earth or the cosmos. They argue that the Nazca people, or perhaps an advanced civilization before them, created these lines as part of a larger network to manipulate energy for purposes like healing, communication, or even technological advancements. This theory often draws comparisons to other ancient sites around the world, such as Stonehenge or the pyramids of Egypt, which some claim also functioned as energy nodes or devices. However, mainstream scientists and archaeologists remain skeptical, pointing out the lack of concrete evidence to support these claims. The idea of an ancient energy grid falls into the realm of pseudoscience, blending speculative interpretations with a fascination for the unexplained. While the concept is undeniably captivating, it's important to approach it with a critical eye, distinguishing between imaginative theories and verifiable historical facts. The enduring allure of this myth, though, speaks to our deep curiosity about the capabilities of ancient civilizations and the mysteries they left behind. Whether as part of an energy grid or something else entirely, the Nazca Lines continue to inspire wonder and debate, reminding us of the limitless possibilities of human imagination and ingenuity. Now, let's turn our attention to a truly imaginative theory: the idea that the Nazca Lines were created by extraterrestrial beings as a form of alien artwork or expression. This myth suggests that the intricate designs and massive scale of the geoglyphs were not the work of ancient humans but rather a cosmic gallery left behind by advanced alien visitors. Proponents of this theory argue that the precision and creativity of the Nazca Lines surpass the technological capabilities of the Nazca people, pointing to the possibility of extraterrestrial intervention. They envision these lines as a kind of interstellar graffiti or a message intended to showcase alien artistry and creativity. Some even speculate that the designs could be a form of communication or a way for aliens to leave their mark on Earth. From an artistic perspective, this theory opens up fascinating questions about the role of creativity across cultures, and perhaps even across galaxies. Could the Nazca Lines be a testament to the universality of art as a form of expression? While this idea is undeniably compelling, it's worth noting that mainstream archaeology attributes the creation of the Nazca Lines to human ingenuity, highlighting the remarkable skill and vision of the Nazca civilization. The alien art gallery theory, though speculative, invites us to think beyond the boundaries of our world and consider the potential for artistic expression on a cosmic scale. Whether crafted by humans or extraterrestrials, the Nazca Lines remain a breathtaking example of artistry that continues to spark curiosity and wonder. Now, let's explore one of the most captivating theories surrounding the Nazca Lines: the idea that these ancient geoglyphs function as star maps or depictions of constellations. This myth proposes that the Nazca people aligned their massive designs with celestial bodies, using the lines as a way to track stars, planets, and other astronomical phenomena. Proponents of this theory point to the precise alignment of certain geoglyphs with key stars or constellations visible in the night sky, suggesting that the Nazca Lines could have served as a massive astronomical calendar or a guide for navigating the heavens. For instance, some researchers argue that the famous spider geoglyph mirrors the shape of the Orion constellation, while others claim that straight line patterns correspond to the paths of the sun or specific stars during significant times of the year. This theory gains traction when considering the Nazca culture's deep connection to astronomy, as many ancient civilizations used celestial knowledge for agriculture, rituals, and timekeeping. However, critics highlight the lack of consistent evidence linking every geoglyph to a specific celestial body, noting that some patterns may be coincidental rather than intentional. Despite the debate, the idea of the Nazca Lines as ancient star maps invites us to marvel at the possibility that these designs were not just earthbound creations, but a reflection of humanity's timeless fascination with the cosmos. Whether they were celestial charts or not, the Nazca Lines remind us of the profound relationship between ancient cultures and the stars above. As we wrap up our journey through the 50 unbelievable myths surrounding the Nazca Lines, one thing becomes abundantly clear: these ancient geoglyphs continue to captivate and mystify us even centuries after their creation. From the intriguing notion of alien landing strips to the idea of celestial star maps, each myth offers a unique lens through which to view these enigmatic designs. Whether you're drawn to theories of extraterrestrial involvement or fascinated by the cultural and spiritual significance these lines held for the Nazca people, the enduring allure of these geoglyphs lies in their ability to spark curiosity and imagination. They serve as a testament to the ingenuity of ancient civilizations and their profound connection to the natural and cosmic world. But the story doesn't end here. The Nazca Lines are a reminder that history is filled with mysteries waiting to be unraveled. So, what's your take on these incredible theories? Do you have a favorite myth or a unique perspective to share? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you. And if you're as fascinated by these ancient wonders as we are, don't forget to explore more about the Nazca Lines and the rich history of Peru. Thanks for joining us on this journey, and if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you never miss out on exploring the world's greatest mysteries. Until next time, keep questioning, keep exploring, and keep uncovering the extraordinary stories of our past.